I'm Jay from the Kubz Scouts. Welcome back to another episode of reacting to these true scary story animations. I got 3 videos that we're gonna check out on today's episode. If you guys cool with that, you down with that? Everybody get ready and buckle up, cause here we go! First video of today's episode is called Sleepover Horror Story. Sleepovers are always scary because you never know what to expect. You don't know if you're gonna like your friends after or not. Okay, let me shut up.
This story took place 7 years ago when I was 13.
Okay.
I had a sleepover at my friend Paul's house one night. This wasn't the first time we had a sleepover.
Don't tell me you guys went to sleep at 11 p.m. That's the worst sleepover ever if you're sleeping at 11 p.m. That's when the freaks come out. 11 p.m.? That's when the whole party starts. Come on, no?
What we would do is play video games until around 11 p.m. Then we would start trolling people on Facebook.
Douchebags.
And this night was no different. Paul and I spent the evening eating McDonald's, playing video games, and watching scary movies.
I reacted
up until around 10:30 p.m.
Come on now. Somebody said that guy looked like Post Malone. Somebody said in the last episode that guy looked like the animated version of Post Malone.
30 p.m.
You guys are so funny.
When we logged into Facebook using a fake account we created, it would send messages to people we knew. We came across one guy who lived in our area, whose name was Frank.
He was a horny MILF in your area?
He was a black dude, buff, and had tattoos.
He was a BBC.
For some reason.
I see the BBC.
We thought it would be funny to prank call him, as his phone number was listed in his bio.
Nice.
We had to ring twice before he picked up. He picked up with a firm, yeah. Paul made a joke about Frank and his appearance.
Yeah, you want this
and we both were
BBC?
Laughing.
Oh,
Frank then started cursing and yelling, and we hung up the phone laughing our heads off. The rest of the night, we made more prank calls and commented childish things on people's accounts.
Childhood things, man.
I think it was around 1 a.m. or something. Me and Paul were getting tired while watching a movie.
That's when the McDonald's kicked in.
We received a text from an unknown number.
Those droopy eyes.
I asked who was that, and it said, "That's so funny," with a picture attached to it. After examining the picture properly, we saw it was a street sign that wasn't far from Paul's house. We both looked at each other,
yeah, you're
scared
not sleeping now, are you, douchebags?
What if they come to my house? Paul asked.
You see, if I was Paul's friend and he asked me, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna be like, don't you worry, baby girl.
I tried to calm him down and think rationally. He wasn't at his house, only nearby. Maybe he is only guessing where we are to freak us out a bit.
And he guessed right?
We carried on watching the movie.
There ain't no coinky dink over here.
Go off again.
That man's out for blood.
About 10 minutes later, however, we received another text without a picture this time, and it read, "Look outside." Me and Paul froze in fear. I remember being so afraid to even move. The lights were off, so
got me drooling over here.
Couldn't see us from outside.
Not because there's gonna be like a big
so I got
guy
the courage
outside, but
to take a sneaky look through the blinds. I couldn't see anyone, not even a car.
That's a good sign.
After scanning the street properly, I said, "Paul, there's no one out there." He checked as well. I told him it was probably just a text to scare us. He doesn't know where our house is exactly, like I said earlier. It didn't leave our minds, but we started to calm down a bit. Plus, we didn't receive a text message.
I feel like Paul's gonna die
now. And about an hour later,
at least that's what I'm hoping.
Me and Paul went downstairs to make some noodles. As we were cooking, we get a phone call from an unknown number. Of course, it had to be that guy who had been texting us. I said, "Don't answer." The phone stopped ringing. Paul then texted the number saying, "I'm sorry if we upset you, but it was just a prank." The next thing that happened was the scariest thing I've ever experienced.
What's up?
A phone lit up just outside the kitchen window from the backyard.
Oh, dude!
A very large man was standing there looking at us.
Bro, if there was a big buff man with traps the size of North Dakota and a face that looked like he about to eat more than ass and tattoos that look like he don't play around because obviously those things are ugly as shit, so he obviously doesn't care what happens to him, I would run if I were you. I would board up the windows, pretend this is a round of Call of Duty Zombies, and just hole up and try to survive as long as you can because it's over for you.
It was Frank.
He is on another level, guys.
He held up a large knife and made a huge scratch into the window to where our necks were. We
you don't mess with a horny
skin,
dude on Facebook.
Screamed and ran upstairs to Paul's parents.
He came over there with no shirt too.
We told him there was a man outside. They came down and checked the backyard and Frank was gone. We didn't tell the whole truth as we were afraid of getting in trouble. I don't think we slept the whole night. We still had sleepovers at Paul's house, but we never pranked or trolled anyone again.
Apex Legends? I would have rather trolled people than play Apex Legends.
We also didn't hear anything from Frank, but we didn't need to. We got the message.
Yo, you got the message. Big buff black dude with no shirt, tatted to the freaking bones. And what is that? Chill with that, chill with that. But yeah, guy was tatted up, had a freaking 10-inch knife in his hand. He was horny on Facebook. Like, no cap. He wanted some. You trolled him. What did you expect was gonna happen? Next video of today's episode is called Nightmare at the Cinema. My dude is about to get the scare of his life and not from the movie, so let's check it out. So there's gonna be no narrator? I think this is just like a movie.
No one likes going to the movies alone,
Never mind.
but my so-called friends bailed on me at the very last minute, and I was left stranded at the cinema. Since I had already been waiting for almost an hour at the movie theater, I decided to go see a movie anyway. The turnout wasn't all that great. Gorgon's Ghost? What kind of title was that for a movie? But it was either this or Twilight, so I thought I would give it a chance. About halfway through the movie, I noticed something strange in the corner of my eye. While everyone was looking forward at the screen, someone was looking in the opposite direction.
Who?
I glanced behind me, but I couldn't see anything of interest.
That person
Then
right there?
I realized this person was looking back at me.
I can barely see that little shit.
At first I thought it was just some kid, but as I looked closer, I realized that it was an older man.
Man, you know what? If I was sitting and watching my movie, I don't care if I was watching freaking Gorgon's Ghost, Gorgon's Butthole, whatever. If I saw a dude looking at me from down below, I would have been like, hey! What's the freaking problem? If you want to go, then we can freaking go!
His eyes were wide open and I could see a faint smile appearing on his face. I was freaked out by the fact that someone had paid just to sit there and stare back at a random stranger.
He's probably a YouTuber
I
making
found
a
it
pranking
almost
video.
impossible
And
to
it's
ignore
titled
him
like,
staring at me
watching
like
the
that.
people
So
instead
I
of the
pulled out
movie
my
at the movie
phone
theater.
and pretended to send some text messages. At least the strong glare from the screen of my phone made it easier to ignore him.
Good call.
Eventually, I ran out of things to do with my phone,
to
and I checked to see if the guy was still staring at me. Fortunately, it appeared that whoever it was had run out of patience and continued watching the movie. But it wasn't long before a sudden movement to the far left of the cinema caused me to turn and look, only to realize that the same creep that was staring at me before had moved to the other end of the row where I was seated.
Speaking of horny dudes,
I could feel the hair
He's
on the
another
back of my
one.
neck as I looked directly forward again to try to avoid giving any further attention.
2 animations in a row where there are some horny dudes. Like, are we gonna go 3 for 3? I don't know. Maybe I'll refer back to this when we watch the 3rd video. But 2 for 2 with horny dudes!
As I cautiously scanned for the nearest exit to my right,
Yep.
I felt a strange vibration. I looked
his
to my
dildo?
left and saw that he had moved a few seats closer.
Oh my god,
I
dude,
looked
why?
away, trying to recall how many seats were between him and me, but as I felt another strong vibration, I could only assume the worst. Without thinking twice, I stood up and ran for the exit.
Is there nobody else in the movie
As I
with
reached the
him?
main hallway of the cinema complex, I tried to call one of my friends for help, but I realized my phone was gone.
Dude.
I must have dropped it as I was running for the exit.
Get a new one, dude.
It felt
think
like
he had a
such a big
Samsung.
risk
Just go
going back
Apple.
in there. But then I heard a commotion coming from inside. It sounded like the movie had finished and everyone was heading for the exits. I decided to wait for everyone to vacate the cinema before heading back inside
know
to
what's
get my
gonna
phone.
happen here.
So I patiently waited as everyone poured
They're gonna be
into
doing
the
a
hallway.
1v1 inside of that movie theater, right?
I quickly snuck back inside and I was relieved to see that all the seats were empty and there was no sign of that strange creep from earlier. Now I just needed to find my phone and be on my way. I couldn't see much against the dark floor and poor lighting, but I was optimistic when I suddenly heard my phone ring. I looked around frantically to find it, but it sounded like it was coming from the other end of the cinema. I followed the sound until it led me to one of the trash bins next to the front row seat.
He said, belongs in the
I
trash!
couldn't imagine why anyone would throw a perfectly good phone in the trash instead of handing it in
Don't
or
tell me the
even
dude's in the trash
stealing
can
it.
looking at him.
The cinema staff were probably already on their
Swear
way
to
to
Buddha.
clean up, so I had to be fast and find my phone before they showed up.
Oh! Dude, this guy is so freaking sinister, bro. Dare I say that he's so goddamn evil? Dude, look to your left, bro. Look, look! Dude, he pulling
After
the curtains to
rummaging
the
through
side
trash,
like it's
I
his
finally
freaking
found my
underwear.
phone. but I almost wish I hadn't when I realized it was covered in blood.
No, that's ketchup.
Suddenly,
Stop.
it all made sense. What kind of disturbed person would hide my phone far from all the exits after everyone had left?
What that mouth do, dude?
When I realized I had walked into a
thing's
trap,
open wide.
I instantly looked behind me and saw him almost grabbing me. I dropped everything and
I don't
just
know why they got
ran
me. I don't
out
know
of
why
the
they got me. I'm
theater,
sorry.
this time without
Should've got
even
me.
stopping.
I gotta be stronger than that. 6 months later? What the? What does that even
I never
mean?
did quite get over the events that took place that day at the movies, but I knew I needed to move on and come to terms with the fact that
He's throwing
a
that
public
straw pretty
place
nice.
isn't always a safe place, especially at night.
Wow. Last video of today's episode is called I Can't Believe That Something Was in My Closet. Maybe a horny dude is in the closet. Like I said, 3 for 3, guys. Maybe.
I was 14 back then, and we just moved to a house my father rented because of his work.
I didn't
which
ask.
we'll spend about 2 months in. Me and my parents were happy with how good the house looked. And quickly we unpacked our things. We spent the whole day settling in and getting a little used to the house. After having, I went to my room to sleep as I was fatigued from the whole moving thing.
Of course.
My room had a bed, a mirror, my computer, and a closet.
Did she expect anything different? Those are usually what rooms have. Did you expect like a 5-star meal, a maid? What were you expecting? That's what every room has.
I turned off the lights and started sleeping. In the middle of the night, I heard some sound.
Oh boy.
It was coming from my slightly opened closet.
It wasn't like that before.
I didn't move. I just slightly opened my eyes, and what I have seen made every hair on my body stand. From the slight opening, I could see an eye opened as wide as an eye can possibly be opened, staring at me. I was terrified, and I jumped out of the bed as I let a loud scream out. I went to my parents, who were sitting
Bro,
in the
now I
living
know this story is bull. She was not sitting and knitting. Dad, with that look and that spiky hairdo, he was blowing mama's back out. Tell the real story, lady, because we all know this part ain't true.
As soon as I finished telling Dad about what I had seen while
Sitting
Mom was
and
holding
knitting.
me,
Baby girl got
he
me
ran
messed
to
up.
my room to look in the closet. He opened the closet, but there nothing but clothes in it.
Aye.
He
Ay,
then
ay,
told
ay.
me it was a nightmare and helped me back to bed. My heartbeat went back to normal, and my parents wished me a good night while leaving the room.
Ain't no way I would be sleeping with the lights off and the door closed after something like that. Dream or not, guys, I'm a giant puss. Like, if something like that was looking at me through the closet, I'll keep the closet wide open, turn my lights on, sleeping next to my baseball bat like it was my high school sweetheart, and just start swinging at anything. I don't care. Any noise that I hear, just swinging, guys. Just hitting home runs on those bitches.
Before leaving, Mom told me she would leave the door slightly open to let in some
Mama
light
knows
to help
best.
me sleep.
Mama knows
But after that, I couldn't close my eyes. I was too afraid to do so. Was it really my imagination?
No.
Dad checked the closet, and I know there was nothing.
Dad don't know
but
anything? Come on.
I tried to calm myself to fall asleep, and indeed I did. But not before leaving my phone's camera recording and facing the now fully
You don't wanna be
closed
doing that.
closet.
I have a question before we continue. Would you record yourself sleeping? Like, would you just have it pitch black in your room, just have a camera on a tripod like she is, and have a camera facing you? I remember asking myself that when I watched the Paranormal Activity movie, and I was like, there's no way I'd be recording myself, because if I did see something on the footage when I play it back, if I actually saw something moving, or a door open or anything, there'd be no way I'm living in that house again. I feel like it's better if we just don't know. Like, if something's going on, I feel like it's better if we just don't think that it's happening so we don't scare ourselves. I want to know what you guys think. Would you guys record yourselves or just record your room when you're not in it and see if anything happens while you're gone or not in the room? Let me know down low in the comments, but I think it's an interesting question.
I thought of it as like a third eye keeping an eye on the closet. It was morning, and I slept well despite what had happened.
Nice.
I noticed my phone was still recording, and I stopped the recording. After taking a shower and washing my teeth,
Washing my teeth. That's the first time I ever heard that. She's so classy that she washes her teeth. She probably blow dries them too.
I went to have breakfast with my parents. And we moved to the living room, so my dad was watching TV and mom reading a magazine.
Dad, don't you have work? Why
I
are you
was
always
bored,
home?
so I thought I'd check the video.
Yeah, there we go.
I
That's
played
good.
it and speeded it up. I had my headphones on.
Okay, now
After
it's gonna get
3
interesting.
hours of absolute silence, there was a knock.
Oh, dude, that's freaky.
Upon hearing, I immediately slowed the video
That's
back
freaky. That's
to
making like my
normal.
eyes water for some reason.
There was another knock.
Ooh.
And after that, the closet door started to open.
Yo, I'm getting the chills.
slowly.
I'm wearing a long sleeve, but I'm getting the chills. You
fell
guys
in
can't even
shock
see it.
As I
but-
watched a hand
Oh my
being
god,
placed
get
on
out
the
of here,
side.
bro.
The closet door to fully open it.
Ain't no way, dude. A nun?
From the closet.
Nah, I want to hear none of that, bro. No pun intended. I want to hear none of that. Ain't no way a full grown-ass nun came out of your closet after your dad opened the closet and nobody was there. She came out with a dress and her black shoes and
Came
everything.
out what looked like a nun.
This girl came out with her
Her
black
face
Air
was
Force
fully
Ones.
covered with a
Praying
veil.
hands, too. Well,
I was sweating
pray
buckets,
that this shit's real.
watching her approach
I
my
really
bed.
do.
Upon reaching my bed, she raised her veil, which revealed a surprisingly beautiful face,
Oh my god, come on. Stop it.
and started to smile while looking down upon me.
Maybe you're evil.
Her
Plot twist, you're the
smile
evil
was
one.
kind of warm.
She's just trying to bless you.
She now opened her teeth to reveal an excellent set of white teeth.
Okay, get them pearly whites.
then-
she washes her teeth thoroughly.
Her
She does.
smile
Oh,
grew
no, she doesn't.
wider and wider. My eyes nearly popped of their sockets as I saw her warm expression turn into an evil and horrifying one, and her warm yellowish skin turn to a color close to the whiteness of snow. Is she going to hurt me? But that was yesterday, and I'm fine now.
What? What the heck? How do you transition from being scared of the nun to she's like, well, that was yesterday. You know, the past is history, so tomorrow's a mystery.
But that was yesterday, and I'm fine now.
That's crazy.
What cut my line of thought was
She
the
just,
sound
like,
of
dropped that
footsteps
thought.
of someone approaching.
Dad with the
The
baseball
nun
bat.
looked towards the room's door and quickly returned to the closet before
Damn,
closing
she
it
said
behind her.
psych?
That someone must have come to check up on me, and that was what saved me.
Today.
After showing
not
the video
tomorrow.
to my parents, they had a horrified expression on their faces. In that same day, we moved out the house and warned its owner, who didn't believe it even after seeing the
Okay,
video,
Humpty Dumpty looking
which he
ass.
thought was made by me to prank him.
What?
It says
Why does
been
everybody
a
got
year
sharp teeth,
since
man?
then,
They don't
but
wash their
still,
teeth.
It is a sleepless one to me.
That doesn't make any sense, guys. She could have uploaded that footage. It would have been on every news outlet. It would have been on Reddit. It would have been everywhere. So many people would have been covering it. It would have been like full-grown nun pops out of closet after not being there before. That thing would have went so viral. So you guys smell that, cat? All right, guys, but that's gonna do it for this episode of reacting to these scary story animations. If you guys want me to react to any more across the internet, make sure you guys give this video one big fat like, and tell a friend today that Jay from the Kubz Scouts is that dude.